ain't gonna expose. I'm not like that. I'm not a snitch. Virginity. It's a hush-hush topic.
Yeah. They love me.
Let's see if your parents raised you.
It's deeper than the physical.
What up, fam? Welcome back to the Juxtaposition, everyone. Welcome back to the Juxtaposition podcast. I'm your host, Nana. Today it looks kind of different. I have not Bernice and Janet because, they're in Toronto with the snow. As you can tell, shorts and a shirt. Somewhere, Jamaica, living my best life with my family. And today we got some special woman, in my life. So you're just going to go and say your name. And
what is this, like first and last name basis?
No, you don't do first and last name.
Government name.
You don't do first and last name.
Hi everyone, I am Eva. I am Nana's older sister.
Oh please, she's so extra. Aren't you supposed to say what you do?
Yeah, what do you do? Tell us, what do you do?
I am a personal trainer. That's what I do full time. Content creator, I guess. I don't know. Whatever you want to call me.
Okay, Becky?
I'm officially Rebecca, but if you know me, I go by Becky. Full-time student. I'm in my final year of nursing, and I'm also Nana's older sister. I was going to say brother.
So, now you guys have confused people. Older sister.
I'm the eldest.
By how many years?
Just by like a year and some change for her.
And then?
And way a lot of years.
Right. All right. So I've been talking a lot. I might as well go and say my name. My name is Alyshia. I am a fashion model as well as a mom, wife, and also a YouTube content creator as well, and Instagram as well. So trying to juggle it all.
I like that. So today we're gonna be talking about the absence of a father. And then, I don't know. I think I was working out one day, and then I'm like, okay, I'm coming to Jamaica. I'm like, hey, maybe I should do this video on the girls. See their perspective, so young girls in the world can kind of like figure out like where the trauma comes from. Why they act a certain way. So yes, if you guys hear a lot of noise, it's a me. He's a menace. So just disregard the noise. Anyway,
Trying to get out.
Anyways, the first.
It's gonna make this video more authentic and real.
Yes. Anyways, okay, so we already said one of my first questions. Tell me where you're from. What is your background? What do you do for a living? You already said that. So yes, in this episode we're talking about the absence of fatherhood, right? So maybe we can go around and say what was your situation like in your household. I mean, we were in the same household, but there are women who their experience was different.
So, of course, Becky's experience might be different from mine, but we lived with our father and our mother, of course, but our father kind of, he was there, but not really there. Do you get me? So it's like, huh?
A little bit louder, sure.
So he was there, but not really there. So it's kind of like just being in a single, like, parent household, like where your mom does everything. Your mom's your father and your mother figure for you. And I had older brothers too. I have an older brother too. So he was kind of like playing the father figure role, but in a sense, like my dad was there, but not really there, in a sense. So
I don't know if I have anything to add to that. Just that later on, my mom and dad separated, so then he was no longer in the house. I can't remember how old we were.
We were in
grade
school.
9.
Yeah, so we were.
Grade 9.
He's in grade 9. I'm 4 years older.
At the time, I was in grade 9.
So I was away
you were
at
probably
school.
in college.
I was away at school then.
She was away at school. So we didn't even see it happen. How did it happen? Because we didn't even see it happen.
She said, "Oh, I'm going. I'm moving."
I've had enough now. The kids are growing, so
Yeah. So that's how it happened.
I think for me it's a mixture of both, where I had my dad and then I had my parents together, and then it was a phase where they had separated, so we were, like I was with my mom and my dad was elsewhere. So it's a mixture for me.
So talking about your experiences, how did that shape you and mold you as the woman you are today?
I think when you see something like that, you see the woman then take on the role of being both parents, so then she's always strong and independent. So I think sometimes in a way I don't know when to step down and just let the man, you know, take the lead and do what he needs to do, because we're always like, I don't need a man for this and I can do that, because we had to see that, you know. So it's good and bad. There's two different ways it can go. You can either go where you have like serious daddy issues with men, or you have issues where you don't know when to step down. You want things done a certain way. You don't ask your partner for things because you're so used to being independent.
So she mentioned she was married. Ours is from the single perspective.
Yes, that's.
I think for me, like Alyshia was saying, it can go two ways. I feel like that I've always like been a person to say that, I mean, not even not having your father in your life. Even some people have like trauma with their mom and stuff like that. So it's like you can like, it could go one way or the other. Either you're going to be that person, or you're going to try your best not to be that person, right? And I feel like in my like circumstances, I try my best, like whatever I've seen, I've tried my best to not try to repeat the same pattern of life. So like with me, I'm very no nonsense type of girl when it comes to even like talking to guys and stuff like that. I don't really like, once I see something I don't like, I just won't talk to you in a sense, like, you know what I mean? I just keep it moving, because I know that's not what I like, and that's not what I want in a man. So I feel like in a sense it could be bad and it could be good, because sometimes you don't give people chances, and that's not good, you know.
Right. I don't know, I guess I'm a little bit different. Mine is more so like I didn't start dating until an adult, so I was more so focused on like getting a career, my education. I wasn't focused on any boys or anything like that. So in a sense, seeing my mom and her experience and how like strong she was, that's how I was a go-getter. I was very ambitious, very motivated, and I get that work ethic from my mom, seeing that how she had to juggle a household, how she had to, you know, carry the bills, take care of the children, all these things, all these hats that she had to wear. And so for me, like, I was like an athlete, I'm a student, I'm, you know, trying to work in the community, all these different hats that I'm wearing. But I realized as an adult, I get burnt out super fast. And so I kind of look at where I get that from, and that's basically from, you know, my childhood, and, you know, assessing the fact that I don't want that lifestyle for myself. I'm tired, my breath.
Girl, how many times did I call you and tell you, girl,
I'm tired.
this thing that they're trying to portray on the strong woman, independent, it's a lie. I don't want any parts of it, because I want to be with somebody that will make me vulnerable and make me, you know, put that. I don't want to be strong all the time. I'm tired.
And I think we have this wrong input on being the strong, independent woman, because what we seen was not what I think. To me, being strong is also being able to know when you need help and when to ask for help as well. There's nothing wrong with just taking the back seat and letting someone like take on the driver's seat. So like what Eva's saying, like, you get tired of being in that role and you're drained and you're wondering where, but it's patterns that never asking for help growing up.
So why do you think like women can't understand what you guys just said? Like, they would say like, oh no, like, I don't need a man for nothing and stuff like that. Like, they won't like submit themselves. Like, submission is like a bad word to say.
I'm down to submit, okay?
Submission has a negative connotation. I think, and I don't, that's why to me I think it depends on like who has raised you, and if they've had the balance of telling you like being independent and being submissive can coexist. It's kind of like, no, it can't coexist. That's what we're taught, you know. And a lot of, I think for women it's really rough, because don't do this, do that, don't do this. Like, there's so much rules, and then we're still trying to figure it out as well. So yeah, it's rough.
I also feel like social media and like influencers and like stuff like that have a lot to play with these younger girls, and like, you know what I mean? If you don't, I feel like we grew up in a good era, because it was weird, like social media was just starting, but it didn't have that much influence on our life, so we could actually figure out what we wanted to do and what we wanted, who we wanted to be. Now it's like these little girls look at these girls these girls are telling them to do this, be this person,
Right,
be
like
independent,
Yeah, and if you submit, you're weak. That's what's going around. Like,
So
you're
it's
not
like-
false. That is so false.
So it's like that's where they're getting it, and it's like I get it. Like it's hard for them. They have to kind of, you have to kind of like, as a, like being that person, being in this society now, you have to kind of like have a mind of your own, which I realize a lot of people don't have a mind of their own to like realize, okay, like what these people are saying is kind of not right. Like, you know what I mean? So
And just Eva saying that one thing before you can even submit to man, of course you gotta like submit to God, but can you submit to yourself? I just feel like people are running away from themselves.
Right.
that's the word, girl.
I just did some right there, right?
Some people just be drinking, don't even work out, don't even wash their face, don't even do their hair. No, they don't have a good skincare routine. That's you not submitted to yourself.
No,
You don't even
like,
drink water.
you don't even drink water. Like, it's crazy.
You listen to
have to
all
be
this
wholesome.
content, like you listen to all this content from Instagram and social media and all this stuff, and you're not even being aware of yourself because you haven't submitted to yourself. What are my traumas? What are my weaknesses? What are my strengths? You have to know yourself so you're not easily shifted by the things, right? And that comes to having an absent father, where, because this is where I can bring it in, where because your father is not around, and let's say your mom's just busy, right? So you're just like, yo, I don't want to bother mom, let me just try to figure life for myself. So then you're always, it's always as if you have like a soldier mindset, like, yo, I got to be on, like I have to be disciplined, I need to be focused, A1, nobody can come and screw up what I got going on, right? So you don't even have time to sit and think about, or think and grow on your weaknesses, or think and grow and develop your strengths, if that makes sense.
Because you're looking for that daddy love in little boys. That's what that is. You're trying to overcompensate.
Talk
so
a little
hard.
bit more about that. You know how? Go
Yeah,
a
no,
little
I
bit
think
deeper with that.
We do the most with that. Sorry, that's my baby. He's trying to add his 2 cents.
Yeah, mama.
We do the most with, because we think that we didn't have that full-time daddy love. We try, and I see it so often. Luckily we didn't stray on that path, but it can always be like 50-50 where you're like looking for it, and like every man you meet, and not every man you date is going to be that one for you. It takes like going through it, and when you date with intention, and like I'm saying, you need to wholesome, that it goes right back into that. You don't necessarily need, like, yeah, you do need a daddy love, but you have God, pray. Once you start loving on yourself and knowing that it's okay that you didn't have that, and you accept it, and don't try and find it. Like, a man can love you, right? And you guys can be happy together. But if you're not happy within, the relationship would never be wholesome.
Yeah.
So you can't keep going and searching through. And by the time you're done that, you're drained because you've exchanged so much energies, you know? So my tip, just love yourself first, and don't go searching for that daddy love in these boys. And like half of the time, they have their own issues. And then how I actually look at absent fathers, I'm always like, we have to look down in generation. If they knew better, they would have done better.
You know,
so
that's
half
the
of the
thing my mom
time,
always tells me.
I can't
He
even
doesn't
be
know.
upset at that person.
She'd
you
be
know?
like, remember, she always says, he doesn't know. That's why. Don't worry, he doesn't know.
He didn't
But
know
I
better.
have a question to pose. Do you guys hold anything against your father? Ooh, that's a deep question.
Before you guys answer, for me, I think the way I got to forgiveness with daddy was, no, I have. Because I always tell my friends,
There's some tea going on here.
I'm not joking, I'm being serious.
Okay.
I did. But I was like, yo, he doesn't know. Like, he just doesn't get it. He's still dealing with stuff that he's probably not even aware of.
Right.
His dad and mom probably weren't there for him.
Right.
So if his mom and dad weren't there for him, how the hell is he going to be a father to us?
Right. No, it's
So
true.
that's what takes the pain and eases all of that stuff away. So when I grew up, I filled that void with other mentors and other men in my life that, you know, but with women, it can kind of be harder to do that, I guess.
I think for me, like, I've forgiven my father.
Are you sure?
Sure.
The way, in a sense, like I have, ish.
No,
Ish?
she has
It's not
it.
fully.
No, so
Ish, and
But
you
you
have
know,
it.
okay.
It's not fully. That's what she
It's
said.
not fully for me, but
I don't
I feel
think
like
you
it's just a conversation that needs to be had.
That's
because
right.
I feel like you're not gonna get that conversation, so you just have to just.
When sometimes
hold
you're like,
it
you're not
out.
gonna get that.
That's what I just said.
Closure.
As I said, you're not gonna
Yeah.
get that. You gotta hold it out. But I think for me, what made me was like be like okay, it's like my mom, all the stuff that she put him through, and she still every single day or every other day. Did you talk to your dad? Did you call him?
Or all the
Oh,
stuff he
he
put
put
her.
her-
my bad. All the stuff
Right.
that he put her through.
Yeah.
Edit that out. All the stuff that he put her through, and she still has grace for him. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, oh, Eva, did you speak to your dad? Oh, I'd just be like, mommy, you know, like, you know what I mean? And she'd be like, that's not nice. Like, you guys shouldn't do
You
that.
sound exactly like
Nah,
her.
nah, nah, nah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't have to do that. She doesn't have to say
Right.
anything because she knows what type of person, you know what I mean, this person is. So it's like, that makes me okay. Like, if she can move on and
Right.
look past
Which-
everything, why can't I? And I didn't really go through
Right,
that much.
which to me that is very rare to find because
Yeah.
her doing that is
Facts.
teaching you how to forgive. Like
Facts.
you're not realizing how impactful that is.
That's true. No
Because
facts.
when the woman speaks negative of the father, then it makes you the woman
Not
bitter,
want-
and
yeah.
at that point, she's influenced your outlook on men.
That's
She's
facts. No,
stamped
for
it.
sure, for
She
sure.
never
So,
talked bad
she
about
never,
her. Right, which is
Ever.
To me,
Even though when you
that's-
grow up and you see,
You need to put a round of applause.
Yeah.
Like, in that.
Mom.
Shout out Mother Mary.
Yeah, I would say mommy's an angel. Even when she would walk in and we would have conversations back in the day when we were younger, she just instantly shut it down. Like, no.
I will never forget. I'm gonna tell you the story. One day, it became like, you know, you get in high school and then like you know things. Like, you know, you're just like, yo, this man, you're trash. You feel me? Like, so like, yo, I was becoming to get a little bit disrespectful. You know what I mean?
Right.
So one time, I don't know, I was on my phone or something. And then like my dad, he came and he like tried to take my phone from me for some reason. I don't know, whatever. But I remember I came downstairs and I was Vim, girl, Vim. The cussing I was giving him, I was like, yo, this is disrespectful. But like, you know, cause you don't respect somebody, you don't fear them. Like I didn't have no fear for him at all, right? So like when I was going in and then like I thought, okay, when my mom comes home, he's gonna tell her and she's gonna back me up because you know, like
It is what
she's
it
gonna be
is
on
right
my
now.
side. She's gonna be like, yeah, Eva, good job. The way I got it from her, she's like, go and apologize right now. Da, 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 going in on me, all of this stuff.
Right.
I had to apologize. I didn't want to.
Right. That's what she told you.
So, yeah,
That's very impactful, right?
Yeah, real talk. Yeah. So I have a question for you two, then I'm gonna go to you. Specific questions. So for you two, having an absent father, did it cause you to act out a character like when you're in high school, elementary school, college, university, or can you say you were okay?
I could say I was okay-ish. I wasn't like, I feel like because I played sports and stuff like that, like you put your drive and to other things, you know what I mean? Yeah, of course you have like little, like you have issues. You think like, oh, like this person
think you
doesn't
know
like,
it.
yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like you have, but I don't think I was like off the rails, like, oh my gosh, like, you know what I mean? But I feel like because I had sports, because of course I had friends, like we all had similar experiences when it comes to our fathers, like, you know, like lots of almost all my female friends, I probably know like maybe one or two or three that they're like, you know what I mean, their parents are still together, but like we all had that kind of same thing in common, so we could have conversations. And like when it comes to like boys or whatever, we can talk and like, you know, communicate and like kind of pull ourselves out of whatever we're going through. So I feel like I was okay in a sense, you know. It would have been nice to have a father figure and like, you know, have that, but you know,
It is what it is,
maybe who I am,
man.
it is what it is, you know.
Me? When I think about it, high school, no, I don't. I think I was just too focused on like.
Focus on your books.
Yeah, I was so focused on my books and focused on basketball and other sports that I didn't have any time for like guys. Like they didn't really interest me. The only time I would engage in guys is when we were going out and just do it for interaction, do it for conversation, do it for friendship, but it was never like,
I need to get this.
yeah, it was, that mindset never trickled in until maybe my last year of my first degree. Then I'm like, oh shoot, I'm getting old. Like maybe I should take it.
Start dating.
Maybe I should take it serious. But it's also because why the absence of him didn't impact me was because number one, I felt indifferent. Like maybe when I was younger, I was like, you know, like, but right now, like I felt indifferent. I can't sit here and say like I don't have respect for him or I'm gonna disrespect him or anything. I really, in my heart, like have no hate towards him. Like no hate.
Right. That's why you're not.
I don't even know how to explain it, but there's just no hate. But I do still have boundaries. Like I do still have boundaries. Doesn't mean that I have hate. I have to come be your best friend, right? It takes two to tango to form.
I just thought of something though. I feel like it made a little bit of a difference that he was actually still in the house, cause you know he would have a little input. Oh, you're coming in too late. Like you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean?
Right.
Like
So he was
there, but not like emotionally. You know what I mean? Like physically you're there, but you're not there emotionally. You can't talk to you about nothing. Like you don't, you know.
But that wasn't good to see though.
It wasn't good. That's what I'm saying. It's not good. It wasn't good to see, but it made a little bit of a difference in a sense.
Like those, he put some type of rules.
Some type of
Like for me, I had the fear of my mom in me. So when I was thinking about doing things, I just thought about my mom. Yeah. No, Auntie Mary's telling me not to do this, so I'm not gonna do it. Like the fear of mommy was in me. It wasn't. It was never the fear of daddy.
I don't think you were. It was a fear of him.
I think I was fearful of him.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying?
Which is a bad thing.
Yeah. Like
I was like, oh shoot, this guy. Like I always thought he dealt with mental health problems. So I was like, yo, this could be like different situations.
You know that touching on that, I feel like in our Black community, sometimes when we sit down and we look at our parents and we wonder why we didn't have this type of relationship with them or why your father was a certain way. Sometimes it could be depression that they were battling and they just didn't know how to talk about it. So again, if they knew better, they would have done better, you know? So
you have to take in how young they came to this country, how many kids,
all the time.
Because they have all their trauma before they even had us, you know.
You're coming to the country at the age of like 22, 23, with 4 kids on your back. Like that to a new country, you can't speak English, you don't have a job, you don't have home stability.
I think
like that's a lot.
If you think about it in that way, you learn to have grace. You know, because it's like you really didn't know what you were doing. I'm not excusing your behavior, but I can understand you. You know, I think that's how I look at things. I'm like, I can get that, and
that's
then
tough.
It's tough. It takes a lot to get there, but once you get there,
it helps you with the like. I don't need to think of him in a hateful way. Like it's just. You just have to come to a point where you just need to understand everybody's going through something, and it's not your job to go and judge people and bash them and just, you know, like come like attack them just for things that they struggle internally. And I think now, right now, with this is the good part about social media where people are talking about, you know, mental health. People are talking about trauma. People are talking about all these things, right? But listen, little girls and little men, you need to sit down and look within yourself and think about how your family, you know, structure or your past is truly impacting you right now in this moment. The sooner you do it, the better it will be for you.
That's how you bring generational curses. Like,
and I feel like maybe sometimes they don't know what they're feeling though. Sometimes like when you're growing up, like I didn't understand what I was feeling when you don't have that. Like you know what I mean? So also like finding somebody that's older that you can confide in and talk to is like so important, so they can like tell you, okay, this is what's really going on with you, like you're not crazy, like you know what I mean, this is what's going on with you, this is what you need to do to overcome that or whatever the case may be. So
always have people in your corner. We had a lot of guys, men in our corner, so it's just a lot, like they just filled it up, so I never felt empty, like you know, it's just
your cup was always full.
So dealing with your situation when it comes to your father, how do you think it affected your marriage, in a good way or
in my marriage? Because my situation's a bit different. My dad went through depression. So when I would see him and he would be good and sometimes he wouldn't be good, I think even young, I always felt sorry for him.
What age did you know he was going through depression?
I would say from 7, because he was just
you
battling
knew?
a lot of
Okay.
different things. I was battling drugs and drinking, and so my is so different. Like he was, and when he was himself, he was amazing. And then when I was learning his backstory about the divorce and the kids and all the stuff that he went through, I'm like, those people drove you crazy, like literally. So for him, it's different. And then I guess in my marriage, the part that I take from him is he just loved unconditionally. Like when it came down to anything about being protective over my mom, me, whatever it was, he was very like, it didn't take much for him to stand up for you, and he didn't care. That was one thing. He's gonna speak his mind. You don't mess with his family. So I think in terms of that, like the good stuff, sometimes I'm like, okay, this is how the structure of how I want like my marriage to be, because he set boundaries, he set this stuff, and when it was good, that's how I'm like, yeah, this is how I want it. So I don't think it's impacted my marriage in a bad way. It's just, even as a father, he was super loving, he was very hands-on, you know. So I don't think it's in a bad way, I think it's in a good way. It's actually put my standards up here. So my take on it is a bit different, because I'm like, okay, you know, life makes people, like we're saying again, life can drive you crazy.
It can. It can.
Be careful of the choices you make and who you have kids with and who you marry.
You just had to put it out.
I know I had to, because it was in a situation like that put him in that predicament. So like, we're laughing at it, but it happens every day. Every day. So
I hear everybody's experiences. So take me back to your younger selves. How did it affect your dating life, or you guys picking people or entertaining people?
Honestly, I don't think I even.
I can start. Yeah. I didn't entertain anybody. My mind, it's because I was in church a lot, so they kind of trained me to be like, dating is for the purpose of marriage. So I would talk to you, but I would never think anything more than this, because I thought within myself, I'm nowhere ready to be married yet. Like 19, no, I'm not ready. Right. So, younger me, nah, like I didn't really, I was more so like the home girl, like, you know. I think here's one thing I did want to talk about in younger me, even outside of dating. The one thing I didn't really get was, you know, when you have a dad and he's telling you, he's giving you words of affirmation, you're beautiful, you're all this stuff. And because I was a tomboy, I didn't hear that. I wasn't the girly girl. I can remember to this day, it was in my early 20s. Now my older brother finally said, yo, you're beautiful. That was the first time I heard it from a family member. I used to tell you from a male family member.
Say, girl, don't play down.
That was the first time I heard it. And then now just looking back, I'm like, yo, I wish I wish I got that more. Like, because I struggled with my self-confidence when I was younger. I didn't like my body. I didn't like the attention I was getting. I didn't like any of that. So it would have been nice if you had a protective father. See how your dad was protective over you? Like, you just didn't have to think that way. Like, oh, like I can't wear these things because. But if you had a dad telling you, yo, you're beautiful. Like, doesn't matter what you wear.
Right.
You're beautiful. Right. And I had to learn that as an adult. Now I'm confident within myself, but it was a struggle when I was younger. So maybe that was the reason why I wasn't interested either.
That could make sense, for sure. Eva, you taking it?
Can you say it again?
I said, how did absent father, like your experiences, affect your dating life, picking people, or being interested in people?
Like I said before, like it's made it a little tricky for me, because I'm very no nonsense in a sense, where it's like, yeah, I like you, we're cool, we chillin', and then you do something that's not what I like, and it's like, okay, I'm out. And it's, you know, it's just, I don't like to give people second chances, which is not good.
You have a short fuse.
I have a short, and I understand nobody's perfect, but it's like, even, you know, nobody's perfect, but like, you could work through some stuff.
Right.
You get what I'm trying to say? So.
You never had that work through some stuff?
Yeah, I never thought it would
when you were younger.
Be worth to work it with you. And because I was younger too, like, come to the next, let's go. But yeah.
One of my last questions. What would your today's self tell your younger self?
Do I have to go first?
Well, what was the question?
What would your today's self?
We answered this question.
What would your younger self? No, it's what you right now would tell your younger self. Your age right now, what would you, if you can go back in time, what would you tell your younger self?
Go first.
Just off of the top of my head, like in everything.
Anything.
Okay. Keep going. Like you're good. You are good. It's gonna be a long journey, but what you're doing is gonna pay off. And be confident in yourself. You are beautiful. You're gorgeous. You're intelligent. You are it. But you just need to focus on continue to building yourself up.
Yeah, I think for me it's definitely be intentional for sure. And like Becky said, sorry, I was just smiling at you. So be intentional, be confident. It's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to say no. Don't be a people pleaser. Love yourself.
I need to add that.
Yes.
Mine might be a long list. Okay, no. Just love yourself. Keep working towards all of your goals that you want because they're going to happen. And of course, what were we talking about? Oh, the people pleasing. Because that's one of my
me too.
people pleasing. It's one of my weaknesses, and it's like for me. It's like when I love you, and I'm gonna do anything. But you do also have to set boundaries in life because at the end of the day, you gotta worry about yourself too. You know, not about everybody, but about yourself too.
You get drained when you're people pleasing.
Yeah, man. It's rough.
Sorry, I'll do a disservice if I don't ask this question. But this is my last one. What
Is it a lot? I think they're trying to probably bring in more drinks and water.
But what would you tell younger men that are going to be future fathers or they're just pursuing women? What can they do to be great fathers in the future, great husbands, great men in the future from a woman's perspective?
I think, listen, have your fun. Be safe while you're having your fun. And when you're ready, be very intentional and pick the right woman because at the end of the day, you're going to have to be a parent to beautiful kids. And picking the wrong woman, trust me, you're going to have more headache in your life than you need. It won't ever be worth it. So,
my advice is, especially when you're single, be honest with women. Like there are a lot of women that maybe they're on the same playing field as you, but when you come and you deceive and you manipulate, that's what upsets them. That's what triggers them. That's what all these things, right? Just be honest with them about what your intentions are. Same thing with Eva, right? When you're younger, do what you got to do, make sure you're being safe. But I do advise at some point that you need to date with intention. And make sure you know what you want, please. Before you enter, you come talk to a girl, know what you want. It's not for her to come and figure out, the things and then she comes and fakes it. No, know what you want because listen, guys, you can also get played too, right? Especially if you're a man of status, a man, you worked hard to build up a certain life for yourself. So you need to know what you want so that you are, you're cultivating something great. But yeah, don't waste women's time. I'm so sorry I have to say that. Just be intentional when you talk to a woman and do not, what's the word when they get upset? Like
when they're gaslighting people or manipulative.
Or for when a woman stands her ground, just respect it. Like when she has boundaries and when she's standing her ground, respect it. You don't have to tear her down. If that's not, if you feel like you can't, provide that safe environment for her, then you just walk away. Just walk away.
And go get therapy and heal yourself.
Yeah. Right, because funny you touched on that. I was going to say a lot of men, like now that I'm getting older and I'm taking like a look at men and their relationship with their fathers, a lot of men also have daddy issues because sometimes the men in their lives weren't present or they weren't like a good husband, they weren't a good father, a good friend, a good brother. So they kind of mimic that, even though they try to say that they're not that person. They do, because remember, a woman is what? A woman is a man's, like your mom is your first love, and then a man, for a father, that's like your first hero, you know. So as much as you try to say I'm not like them, there's always sometimes small habits.
Yeah, sure.
So like even as a therapy, I think if you're gonna play around the field, like they said, be safe. But I think in that time also, realize, like, I think that it has to be a point where you sit down and you say, why am I doing this? Because all the fun you have, after a while you kind of like, that was dumb, like, why am I,
And just know,
you know?
if you do that playing games, it will impact you.
Yes, and definitely
Don't do it.
It will impact
definitely
you.
have kids when you're ready. Don't just say I'm gonna have kids because I can afford them. Kids are not dogs, they're not toys. It takes a lot of work. So do it when you're ready, and do it with someone that you know, someone you love, someone you're getting married to, because that way it makes things easier. It's already hard when you're trying to figure out fatherhood and you have someone that's stopping that and being bitter. It then, guess who ends up getting hurt? Because when you're having fun, you're not thinking about the kids.
Yeah.
So definitely be intentional and grow, like, before you have kids, grow up.
Yeah, grow.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Grow up.
I want to add to that, because the moment females are birthed, it's almost as if the mothers, how our mom treats us, is we need to prepare her to be a good woman, a good wife, right? But listen, guys, it's just as important for you to take the time out and to develop yourself to be a good husband for your future wife. So you need to know how to do basic needs, whatever. You need to know how to do that, and also go to therapy. Why wouldn't you want to be your best self? Aside from marriage, why wouldn't you want to walk outside on this earth being your best self, being happy, experiencing peace, experiencing joy? Why wouldn't you want that? That's my question, because I want that.
I think we all need therapy.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be something bad. Sometimes it's just figuring out small things. So,
Jesus in therapy.
yes.
Well, that's all, folks. That was a great episode. You know, they did all the work. I was just the mediator.
But you gotta
You
do
know?
your part and tell them what to do.
Oh, go like, subscribe. All the new listeners, you got Fitforevaa people. You got the medical smear scrubs. You got Alyshia, the Power Posse. That's what you call them.
Yeah.
All these new people watching, go and subscribe and like. Juxtaposition podcast is based in Toronto. We talk about Christ and culture, comparing the two. So yes, like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, the Juxtaposition podcast. Follow them on Instagram at
Fitforevaa.
at
Msrreebeeccaa.
I'm over here trying to even remember my name.
It's Miller.
Miller Powell.
Or Power
I
Miller.
don't know. I think it's Miller Powell underscore.
will put it
Alyshia.
under.
yeah, we'll put it under. All right. So that's all, folks. Thank you for tuning in, and bye.
We're gonna go to the pool.
Yeah.